Dear teachers and students, welcome.
Students, boleh benar? Half a day, man. Boleh benar? All right, that's more like it. That's more like a Friday greeting, eh? Everybody looking forward to the weekend. But first of all, I'd like to say to the ministry, thank you very much for the invitation to be here. I did not know that there was such a week as the test week. I'm very glad to be here because for a long time in my life, and even today, I am still a great apostle or disciple of the importance of technical vocational education training, skills training. Absolutely. And I think it's great to be here at this institute because as I was sitting down, as I sat down, I saw this piece of paper that was given to me, giving the history of this institute. And how, you know, one of the things that we tend to forget about in this country is that when we talk about skills development and training, the religious bodies, the churches, they're the ones that started it off all. Here in Tawilibu, where we come from, the Korodende, that will probably win the Dean's Trophy this year. We also had those training where we trained carpenters and so forth. A lot of people went through those programs that were started by religious bodies. And I'm looking through this, the flyer that we have here about the beginnings of the Marist Champagnet Institute. I can see that it also came from a religious body. So it's important also for us to acknowledge the impact of these organizations, what they did for the development of skills and training. Because you know, when you train people in these technical skills, you're training people that build, training people that do. Because nowadays when you talk about education, sometimes I think we spend too much time developing people who can only talk about it and think about it, but not people who can do. And any country, any community needs people who can do. Not just think or talk or describe, but can actually do. So it's actually great that we can do this. I was looking at some of the notes that the staff gave me for this particular week, and I noticed that I think this is the second year we're having this week, and I must congratulate the ministry for actually introducing the idea of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship to tie it up all together. And I can see my good friend there, Epi, sitting here, and we worked together many years with a trainer also in the hospitality industry. That's very important. You know why? Because today around the world, the way in which people work is changing. If you go back 30, 40, 50 years ago, normally what people would expect that once you know, in Japan this used to be true, they used to have a concept called lifelong employment. Once you get your qualifications, you join one of these big companies, you stay there for life. And you stay there, you work from the time that you're 20, and when you're 60, you retire. People worked at one company for all of their life. But now in the world, all that is beginning to change. Now this young generation, you can expect that you can work at one place for 3 years and move on to another place. People are changing jobs very frequently. And you know one of the reasons why that is taking place? Is because a lot of the things that we learned in schools, the things that we learn in our degrees and our diplomas, by the time we start working, a great portion of that thing becomes obsolete. You children, you know what this word is, obsolete? No class. Obsolete means becomes out of date. Eh? Like out of date, like your phone. You have one phone, you have an iPhone or something, very soon that one becomes not really out of date, people just want the latest ones. Skills and knowledge becomes obsolete very quickly. There are now industries that become obsolete very quickly. Eh? You know now they have cars that don't need drivers. Can you feel about that? You have buses that don't need drivers. That means if somebody used to have his living by driving a car as a taxi driver, driving a bus, if that trend continues, very soon there's no need for drivers. Understand? Oh, I like the way your eyebrows move. Very nice. So that's why this thing is very important, that we need constant renewal. We need skills and knowledge and abilities to constantly renew, especially in this environment that we have. So that's why I'm glad to see that in this week we are tying together the importance of skill development technical employment skills, but also for people to know that in the world, it's not just about getting a job from somebody else. Being prepared to make your own job, so that you become a creator for the jobs of other people. Right? Very, very important. Today in the world they talk about the gig economy. Have you heard this? You know what a gig is? Gig used to be the people that you go and play in a nightclub. They call that a gig. But they move from one nightclub to another place. In other words, the place that they get their income is not just one place. They move from one place to another, from one person to another that hires them, and that's how they earn their income. So now you have accountants that can do that. They don't just work for one person. They can do some accounting work for this firm, and they do some for that firm, some for that firm. Plumbers now do that. We now even have in Vatuwaqa in the West, we have a company that does, you know what auditing is? Children, you know what auditing? Fancy word, eh? But fancy word, but it basically means that all companies in Fiji, it's a requirement by government that somebody has to check their financial records to make sure that they are capturing the way that they are earning money and using the money correctly. Before, in order to audit your accounts, you had to have somebody to come and do it in your company. Now, you can have a company in Australia and the auditor can be working here in Fiji using ICT to audit their accounts. This is where the world is going. So you don't need an auditor to be working in your company. You can have them actually auditing in other countries. It's already happening in Fiji. There are back office companies working in Fiji where they are auditing the accounts of others. So I'm beginning to lose track what I'm talking about, but the purpose, what I was trying to say, is that it's very important for skill development. It's very important also that we tie this up with the idea of entrepreneurship, so that people can start looking at not just thinking as you go out. You know, when I was a child, I was brought up here in Langere, in the missionary area. My parents used to tell me, Jone, Jone, study hard, so one day you can have a good job. But today, we're beginning to tell our children different things. Don't just study hard to get a good job, but study hard also. You can start your own company that can make jobs for others. So that's very important to be able to do that, and that's why it's great to see that this development is taking place. And we promote this. And I was looking at all of the attributes that we have, all the things that we want to do this week. To advocate skills accomplished by students through various models and project display. I can see some of the displays out there, lovely Zulus and other things that people have done. To promote skills development with an emphasis on enterprise education, to empower students to become job creators. So you should not only be thinking about just getting a job. One day you can have people working for you. Now, I was in Vatuwaqa last week. I was with the Prime Minister. We were at a road show in Daria, in Wainunu. Do you know where Wainunu is? Oh, you probably know about the geography about New Zealand, but you don't know Vanuatu's geography. Yeah? Wainunu is towards the southern half of Vanuatu. And there, they were talking about children still in schools, but they have thousands of dollars in their bank accounts because they have been planting yangona. While you are still in Form 5, Form 6, Form 7, some of these kids have a few $1,000s in their account because they've been planting a lot. So that's the kind of mentality that we need. We get the education that we have, but we have something else going on the side. So we're looking ahead about what we can do for our own lives. So this is a very major thing that's very important for government. Employment. In my ministry, we're now establishing a national employment policy where the focus is on the youth. Because one of the good things that we've seen in our country over the past few decades is that the number of people, the percentage of our people that are unemployed has been declining. Percentage of people has been declining. When we did our survey back in 2010, 2011, we found that our unemployment proportion of our population was around 7.1%. We did another survey in 2015, around 2015, the unemployment survey, that came down to 5.5%. And now after the census, it's actually down to 4.5%. So it shows that a lot more people are doing things that allows them to earn an income. But even though the unemployment rate is dropping, youth unemployment, the percentage of youth being unemployed, has been quite high. It has been at around 18%. So general unemployment here at 4.5%, youth unemployment is at 18%. There are some countries in the world where youth unemployment is around 40%. Those are countries in the Pacific. So in Fiji it's not too bad, but this is a major focus for us, youth unemployment. And that is why government has put in its policies like having a retirement age at 55, so that old people like me, maybe Master M. Mosi sitting in front here, when we reach 55, we move out, we do something else, so we give opportunities for young people to come in. That is why government is spending so much money on education. Kindergartens, ECE, primary schools, secondary, all of those assistance to try to make sure that we can develop an educated group of people. There is around the world now a global, you know what the word global means, Ramani? What does global mean? Huh? Around the world. Around the world, there are not enough people who can do things, who can build houses, can fix cars, can do all of these things. There's a lot of people who can talk to you and explain. They're very good in the brain, but they can't do it. A global shortage, a world shortage of trade skills. Even in our country today, we don't have enough carpenters, plumbers, and so forth. We are importing all of these people from Bangladesh, China, and Vietnam. They're here working in Fiji now. There's a global shortage of health workers. I used to be Minister of Health. I know about this. Not enough nurses, not enough physiotherapists, not enough nursing assistants, not enough, what do you call that, half doctor, what's it called? Sorry, medical assistant, like that. All those, big shortage everywhere. And the shortage globally is not in the tens or hundreds of thousands, it's in the millions. There's a big shortage of people that can do things. This morning, as I was at home before I got here, I had a look at the U.S. Bureau of Statistics. U.S. Bureau of Statistics, where they listed, now this is for America, so it doesn't, maybe not so apply so much to us. But it lists the 9, I put out the 9 top areas where there's shortage of skills. Now you know the other big thing that's happening in the world? People are living longer lives. Right? You know, when our forefathers 100 years ago, if you were a 40-year-old man or 50-year-old person, you were an old person. Today, you become old when you become 80 or 90. People live longer. Why? Because we've been able to eliminate or reduce the impact of communicable disease. You know what is communicable? A disease I can pass from one person to another because of bacteria, virus, and those things. Those kinds of diseases we've been able to try to reduce their impact. You know, our Itoke, they were almost killed by measles many years ago. Do you know about that? Most of our people used to die because one germ or one bacteria moved from one person to another. But now we've got antibiotics and all of these things that control that. So people are living longer. But as people live longer in the countries that they live in, they can't look after themselves, so they need people to come and look after them. And if you go to countries like Singapore and Japan, so many old people, so many, and they don't have enough people to look after them. That's why a lot of our people from Fiji are now working in America. And you know what their job is? They go and live with one old person and look after that old person. And they will earn US $200 a night or US $300 one night just for doing that. US $300 a night is about Fiji $600. One night. Good money, eh? Yeah, because as the world gets older, there'll be a more need for people that can look after other people. So I was looking at these jobs that they have, the top jobs that will come up in the US over the next few years. One is personal care assistant, people who give that personal care. Number two is home health aides, people that look after somebody sick that is not in hospital but in their own home and to be able to give them assistance. So these are areas where we can have opportunities for employment. Number three, biomedical engineers. And number four, brick masons, block masons, stone masons, tile and marble I don't know what, I can't even read my own handwriting. In these countries, they make a lot of buildings out of bricks and stones. We don't do that so much in Fiji. So there's a lot of need for people that can work with bricks and shape bricks and block masons and stone masons. Number 5, carpenters. Big shortage of carpenters. A few years ago, was it 2 years ago, you know you had that big earthquake in Canterbury, in New Zealand? Right? Canterbury is the home of the best rugby team in the world. Do you know what it's called? Canterbury, New Zealand. It's the home of the best, after Lady, the best rugby team. Canterbury Crusaders. They had a big earthquake, so they needed people to rebuild that place. They had a big shortage of carpenters. We sent carpenters there from Fiji. They came and asked, we sent some. Some of those carpenters now are earning more than New Zealand, $30 an hour, $31 an hour. Working in Christchurch. Carpenters, people that work with iron, physical therapist assistants, plumbers, pipe fitters, and steam fitters. Overseas, plumbers are some of the highest paid people. Highest paid. They earn more than people with degrees in accounting and commerce. And this is one of the big problems that we have in Fiji. We have too many people going to study commerce. Too many. There are dime a dozen everywhere. They come to my ministry and they just crowd the place. Here's my degree, my diploma. You can't find places to employ them. So we employ them at the lowest possible level. But we don't have enough plumbers. We don't have enough carpenters. We don't have people with all of these different kinds of skills. So that's why this particular program is very important. It's giving that emphasis. So remember, children, as you look into the future, it's not just about having a nice working in an office with all that fancy white collar stuff. Places where there will be opportunities is when you know how to do things. Whether you fix a mic, set up a sound system, being able to clean houses, being able to do things on your own with your hands, that's where the future lies. So I'm really, really glad that we have this opportunity. And government is also trying to tie this with entrepreneurship. Now, government has a program where you can get $1,000 grant to start your small enterprise. Right? We also we've introduced the youth entrepreneurship. Do you know what this word entrepreneurship means? Children, have you heard this word entrepreneurship? Entrepreneur means a business person, a person that does business. So government has set up a youth entrepreneurship scheme. Basically, we want the young people, like you, not like us, we're old. We're almost beside the grave now. You people young to think about starting your own businesses. And the government gives $10,000 for the person that it selects to start their own business. And I was looking at the list of people that we have selected this time around. There are 5 people that have been given this award. Siwan Sachin Narayan. And you know what his business is? He's going to build small family homes for people. That's his business. And government has given him $10,000 to start that business. That is Siwan Sachin Narayan. Sandhya Sivanjali. She has been given assistance of $10,000 to start a hydroponic farm. Fancy words, eh? Hydro. When you listen to hydro, you know it's related to what? Water. Hydroponic means you have drip feeding or you try to give water to the plant. So this woman, this lady, has been given $10,000 to start a hydroponic farm. So she's doing things and she's becoming an entrepreneur. Maybe in a few years' time she'll be employing people. So she'll become a person that creates employment. Rainal Kumar is starting with an organic agribusiness. So when you talk about organic agriculture, it means you reduce the amount of chemicals you put into the plants. Pesticide, weedicide, all of those things go into your body, and eventually it's going to kill you or something. I don't know. Probably coagulates in your liver, your kidney, and it can lead to problems. Now all over the world, if you have an apple that is planted in a place where they use a lot of chemicals, and you have an apple that is organic, no chemicals used, which one do you think people will pay more for? They will pay more for the organic ones. If you go to Europe, you have this apple that is probably has a lot of chemicals. They probably charge you $1. For the organic one, you can sell it for $4. There's much more money in organic. Now people are much more aware of these things. Atunaisa Rainima. His business is lawn, fixing the lawns, looking after the lawns, cutting it, shaping it, doing whatever it is, and also landscaping. And Vincent Padiachi, beef farming and honey milk flavored ice cream. Doesn't that sound delicious? Honey milk flavored ice cream. Not too much, might lead to diabetes. Anyway, so we're going to look at the other things that I have. I think, first of all, to the ministry, congratulations for this program. And children, today, as you sit through this program, think about what your future is going to be. We have too many people doing the wrong things. One of our big problems that we have in Fiji, I think a problem, that we allow people to study whatever they want to study. And then when they come out with their big fancy, big piece of paper, they find that they can't get a job out of it. This particular sector, technical employment skills, if you focus on this sector, you will get employment. And you will have something for yourself and for your future. This, I like the words. Where did I see these words? Here. It says here, the purpose of the Test and Enterprising Week, the last one says, advocate for TVET as the master key. This is the master key. Learning how to do things is the master key for your future and the future of your family and the future of Fiji. So with those words, I formally launched this week, and I hope we can all enjoy today's event.
It is being done by students of Technical College of Fiji. Thank you.
What's this for?
That's a lot of
So you can do this.
Skills for all.
You make all this. You can make What do you have?
This is the dustpan from our school. We made out of metal and 4 rivets. That's our plant stand for 3. Can be in the corner for roof.
Why am I not part of the picture?
Beads, eh? So you buy the beads and string them up as a necklace.
Yes, sir.
This stuff?
Rubber bands. Blue bands. Rubber bands.
Coconut? So who did all this stuff?